Welcome to the Void Directive, a journey through the infinite universe, where adventure and mystery await in every galaxy. Today, we take you on a new mission filled with excitement and danger. Are you ready to explore the darkest corners of space and uncover secrets that were never meant to be found? Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to join our intergalactic community.
The Forgotten Colony. In the vast emptiness of the Zeta 9 quadrant, the ISS Revelation drifted silently toward its destination, Nexus 12, a colony planet thought to be abandoned over 3 centuries ago. Captain Alara Kane, a seasoned officer with steel-gray eyes and an unflinching resolve, stood on the bridge, staring at the holographic display. Nexus 12 shimmered faintly on the screen, its atmosphere cloaked in deep green clouds that churned ominously, as if hiding the planet's secrets. "Why now?" she muttered, addressing no one in particular. 300 years, without a signal, and suddenly a faint, garbled distress call had been detected emanating from the surface. "It's impossible for anything to have survived," said Dr. Jace Varon, the ship's xenobiologist. The initial reports indicated an atmospheric collapse, toxic conditions, total loss of life. "And yet, here we are," Alora replied. "Gear up. We'll deploy as soon as we're in range." The landing shuttle descended through turbulent skies, the green clouds parting just enough to reveal a barren gray surface below. Vast, crumbling structures rose from the ground skyscrapers of alien design, now draped in vines and bioorganic growths that pulsed faintly in the dim light. "Atmospheric readings?" Alara asked. "Toxic but stable. Oxygen levels are sufficient with filtration," replied Lieutenant Orrin Hale, the ship's tactical officer. The shuttle landed with a hiss. As the team disembarked, their boots crunched against the cracked ground. The air felt heavy, even through their suits, and an unnatural silence hung over the ruins. No wind, no wildlife, just the oppressive stillness of a world that seemed to be holding its breath. "What the hell happened here?" whispered Specialist Dana Corrin, the team's technician. The team moved cautiously toward the heart of the colony, a massive tower that had once served as the Nexus 12 Central Command. As they approached, they noticed something chilling. Humanoid figures stood motionless in the streets, their bodies encased in a crystalline substance that shimmered faintly in the greenish light. "Are those?" Dana began. "People," Dr. Varon said grimly, crouching to examine one of the figures. The face was frozen in an expression of terror, its mouth open in a silent scream. Inside the command tower, the team found remnants of technology still flickering with life. Holographic screens buzzed with static, and faint whispers seemed to emanate from the walls. "Is that someone talking?" Orrin asked, his hand resting on his weapon. "It's just interference," Dana said, though her voice betrayed her unease. Alora approached the central console and activated the system. A garbled recording began to play, distorted but unmistakably human. "They are watching. Don't look into their eyes. They learn, they become us." "What does that mean?" Orrin asked, stepping closer. "It means they knew something was here. Something they couldn't fight." The whispers grew louder. Dana turned abruptly, her eyes darting to the far corner of the room. "Did you hear that?" she asked. "Hear what?" Varon replied. Dana didn't answer. Her gaze was fixed on the shadows, which seemed to writhe and ripple unnaturally. She took a step forward, her hand reaching out as if compelled by some unseen force. "Dana, stay with the group," Alara barked. But it was too late. The shadows engulfed her, pulling her into the darkness. Her scream was brief, and then she was gone. Panic spread through the team. What the hell was that? Orin shouted, his weapon drawn and scanning the room. We need to leave. Now, Alara said, her voice calm but firm. As they retreated to the shuttle, they noticed movement among the crystalline figures in the streets. Slowly, the frozen colonists began to turn their heads, their glassy eyes locking onto the team. One by one, the figures began to move, their stiff, jerky motions accompanied by a faint, grinding sound. "They're alive?" Orin asked, his voice trembling. "No," Varen said. "There's something else." The figures began to speak, their voices a chilling mimicry of the team's own. "Captain Alara Kane," one figure said, its voice identical to hers. "Why did you come here?" "They're learning," Varen whispered, "mimicking us." The team broke into a run, the crystalline figures moving faster now, their glowing eyes following their every move. The whispers returned, louder this time, echoing in their minds like a chorus of malevolent voices. Back on the shuttle, Alara ordered a full scan of the colony. "What are we dealing with?" she demanded. The results were incomprehensible. Beneath the surface of the planet, a massive bioorganic structure pulsed like a living heart. It extended tendrils throughout the colony, connecting to every crystalline figure. "It's all one entity," Varen said. "The colony, the people, they've been absorbed into it." Alara's mind raced. "Is it intelligent?" "It's not just intelligent," Varen replied. "It's evolving. Every interaction, every piece of data it collects, it's growing stronger." As the shuttle prepared to leave, the entity made its move. Tendrils erupted from the ground, wrapping around the vessel and pulling it back toward the planet. The team fought to sever the connections, but the whispers invaded their minds, planting doubt and fear. One by one, the crew began to succumb. Orin turned on Alara, his eyes glowing faintly. "You can't leave," he said, his voice layered with the whispers of the entity. "You belong to it now." Alara fired her weapon, but it was too late. Orin was no longer himself. With no other options, Alara set the shuttle to self-destruct and fled alone in an escape pod. As she drifted away, she looked back at Nexus 12. The green clouds parted briefly, revealing the full scope of the bioorganic structure. It was vast, larger than she could have imagined, and it was watching her. The whispers followed her into the void. Weeks later, the ISS Revelation received her escape pod's signal. The crew recovered Alara, but something was different. She was quiet, withdrawn. Her steel-gray eyes seemed darker now, as if something else looked out from behind them. When they asked what had happened, she only smiled faintly and said, "We shouldn't have come." Far away, Nexus 12 pulsed faintly, its entity waiting patiently for the next visitors. It had learned much from Alara Kane, and it was still hungry.